Bonsoir, mes amis. Welcome back to Monaco. Last time we broke into a swanky mansion party in order to secure some vital documents for our cause. This time, let's go secure the assets we got the information for. Something I believe is very much worth noting is that the storyline for this game and the pickpocket story really starts throwing a lot of curveballs at you starting in this mission, so you may want to try and keep up. As for security, we're still playing on classic mode, so we still have to worry about crossbow turrets. Each one of those lasers is rigged up to every single one of the crossbow turrets in that room. If you trip one, you're going to get hit by all of them, and it does a lot of damage. The best way I'd say to actually go for all that gold is just to turn off the power and then grab it. In enhanced mode, I don't think I've seen a single crossbow turret in enhanced mode, so those are pretty much all replaced by explosives. Same thing as in La Porte de la Condamine. As for guards on this bottom floor, the only thing you have to worry about is dogs. So, if you run fast enough, there's really nothing to worry about. The only thing you might have trouble with is getting caught out like Pac-Man by ghosts, but overall it's not too hard to keep ahead of them. Here on the docks, much like in the enhanced mode version, there is an upper right area in classic mode, but enhanced mode it's not there. It's a pretty neat little way of streamlining the level a little bit, but as before, there are lasers everywhere, and you can see there are 4 turrets up above. Each one of those is also tagged to the laser trips, so if you trip one wire, you're gonna have a bad time. The only positive I can think of is that they're not hooked up to any alarms, so that if you happen to knock it off once and then knock it off again, you know, you'll trip it both times, you'll take damage both times, but no guards will come to see what's going on, which is kind of a blessing. The downside being that if you trip it 3 times, then you're dead, just because you're taking so much damage. The alarms down here on the bottom part of the docks can be a little bit tricky to deal with if you're not used to using these 1 square columns to avoid lasers. This one in particular here covers a pretty wide area, but there is there's a column on either side of it that you can use to avoid it pretty handily. Same for this one. The main thing to keep in mind is just to be patient. You know, you don't have to rush around a lot unless you're specifically trying to speedrun, in which case, well, good luck. It's not difficult, it's not impossible, but it takes a little bit of forethought, and even then you need a little bit of patience, not to just rush around and make mistakes. The best way I found to grab this safe at the bottom is just to wait for the laser, and then you've got smoke bombs, right? You got a ton of smoke bombs, so you should probably put them to use. Same thing for grabbing this gold on the table. It's, unless you're playing the cleaner, it's just about impossible to grab without alerting somebody.
Y'a quelqu'un? Retour à la normale.
J'étais sûr d'avoir entendu un mot. Y'a quelqu'un ici?
Something worth noting is that the area right down here, next to the guard and the dog that were guarding the safe, right next to the power outlet is a secret passage. It doesn't serve a whole lot of use. It has a little bit more use in enhanced mode, but it's still nice to have the option, I suppose. If you really love playing the mole, then you can open passages all day. The best thing to keep in mind with this level is, as it pertains to dealing with guards, is that a good majority of them do not have guns. You either have dogs or you have the melee guards, and you can honestly outrun them all the time. The downside being that if you do get the attention of the one pistol guard, there's a lot of wide open areas here. He can see you over the top of pretty much all the shipping containers, so you'll have a bad time. Same thing in here as before with the laser tripwires. These ones are actually attached to crossbow turrets and an alarm, so if you set this one off, you'll not only be asleep for maybe it's 4 seconds, you'll also have to contend with this pistol guard down here, and that's no fun. There's 2 pieces of gold on the civilians down there, so to avoid making a big scene, you can pop a smoke bomb, and that will eliminate your character collision, so you can bump into him with no downsides. Now, the laser traps up here on the second floor are deceptively hard. Each one of them is flickering, and it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to knock them out, but it's a lot more difficult than you might think. Particularly if you go down the left side, you're going to hit something. I mean, consider just to the left here. These 2 lasers are in the exact opposite alternating pattern. So the best way to do it is to knock out this one and then try to run past the other one. Unfortunately, if you're on the left side, that's a little bit more difficult. It seems like there might be enough time to hop in and hop out, but there's really not. Still, on the top floor, much like in La Porte de la Condamine, there's a couple guards and a couple alarms. Luckily, these aren't too difficult to avoid. It just takes a little bit of fancy footwork. And with that, we've secured our weapon shipment. Please join me next time when we see what happens when the explosives go off. It's going to be a blast.